Phred, the Wildling.
Hi.
Hi, Phred.
Hi.
So for those of you that don't know, Phred is actually my business partner. She is the one who I have decided to start the online business that we're creating, House of the Wildling, with. And she's actually also the inspiration for the Persephone's course, and we're going to talk about that. And she is also the one who, I freaking love her. She is a witch. She is a heathen. She's magical. And I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce you all to her because obviously if you follow my YouTube channel and you get a chance to see me and, I'm very visible on social media. Phred, however, is less visible on social media, but she is the other half. So I thought it was really important for you all to get an opportunity to meet her and just see what a freaking amazing person she is. So, hi, Phred.
Zoe.
For those that don't know, do you want to tell them a little bit about what your background is?
I want to say I got interested in magic and witchcraft when I was 14. Picked up to ride a silver broomstick, just like most of us back in the day. Yep. But my mom, I was raised in a cult, so that was not allowed. Like it was just, I had that book and tarot cards in my room, and my mom come bursting in and threw everything away and was like, "You don't allow that devil shit in my house." And I was like,
do you mind sharing what group that was with, or do you want to keep that private?
Oh no, I can share. It was a really small local here to San Diego called South Coast Christian Fellowship. They were, it was what I was born into. We were there, and my mom was really deeply involved into that for most of my life. Then when my parents split, my dad he kind of went back to his roots, which was the Native American church. So we got some of that as well, but mostly because I lived with my mom, it was Christianity, and a very, I don't want to say warped version of it, but a very orthodox, very structured version of it. Mm-hmm. So magic was not an option. It was not something that I was allowed to have into my life. And then when I was 17, I met my husband, and he was kind of coming away from the kind of stuff his family had been involved in, which was a little bit darker. And he was like, "No magic around me." And I was like, okay, still interested in it, but we sort of made some compromises, and I could do magic in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. Because it was about nurturing. So that's really where my journey started. It was how I can start bringing magic into taking care of my home, taking care of my family. I'm a nurturer at heart. Mm-hmm. I want to just take care of everybody. So that was kind of where that journey started. It's always been the foundation of my practice is really about the hearth, and it's about the home. After working with you and kind of getting in touch more with the Native American side of my family and really working with that sort of started to come out a little bit more. And then about 6 years ago, I started really identifying with Persephone and Hades, that mythos and their relationship. And that's kind of where my identification with Persephone started. Like that the idea of being able to embrace contradiction, and that I could be the housewife and I could be the nurturer, but that I could still really dive into that deep and that dark, because that's where I live. That's where I want to be. So that kind of started there, and I've worked really exclusively with Persephone for about 6 years now. I hate to use the term patron goddess because I think it sounds weird. To me, it doesn't sound right, but that's really who I've spent a lot of time working with. Branching out the past couple of years to a lot more of the underworld energies in specific, but yeah, for me that's kind of been my journey. And then the past year or so, knowing that my kids have started embracing magic in their various forms, I have one kid who works exclusively with the Fae. Mm-hmm. The little mischievous energy is all in my house. Yeah. Then I have one kid that likes a lot more with kind of hoodoo type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then my middle son who's really into Gnosticism right now. So
yeah, and what I hear in your story, which I think is really interesting, and I think a lot of people can relate to, is growing up in a Christian society, in a Christian culture, things are, you know, there's good and there's evil. It's black and white. And it's like, you are either a saint or you're a whore, but there's no in between. And there's definitely not both. Like, you can't be both. It's like you're one or the other. And I think that that's very destructive to both. I want to say women, but really when I look at it, it's both genders. They, you know, all genders are really hurt by that concept. And I think that it's through, and that's really what this course is about. It's through embracing the contradictions and allowing them both to coexist and integrating both of them, that then it's like all of a sudden, that's where you become the god or the goddess. That's where you become your own powerful deity, your own, like, you know, your own magic. And I watched you in this journey when I met you, and when we started doing work together and I started to really get to know you, I just remember you being like, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but just kind of like broken and lost, and like, you know, like your energy was just like this. And watching you, the best way I can describe it is it's sort of like you grew roots. It was like you were kind of flailing, and then you just, as you dove into your practice, you grew roots. And as you grew roots, I just saw this like really badass woman come forth. And and it's funny.
That's a lot. Because, you know, I've said it before, and I'm happy to say it again. I've always wanted to be you when I grew up. So that means a lot. No, it was definitely working with you, having that chance to see that it was okay to, because you were very much, I remember you had blonde hair. And we were both trying to sort of be in that lighter area, and we were both like,
no, didn't work.
Doesn't work.
So, and that kind of leads me, like, we can talk a little bit about this, because I had this healing practice before, and I went through, not this healing practice, I had a healing practice, and I was going through a coaching program, which was really helpful. I learned a lot, but it was very like, I kind of came in there like, I'm a witch, and I'm gonna teach you how to be magic, and I talk to fairies, and people were kind of like, oh, okay, but nice, but like, you have to have a niche. Well, what are you helping people with money? Are you helping people with sex? And they kind of whittled down, and I understand the reason for this, and it works for a lot of people, but they kind of started chiseling away at making me more marketable. And I started to feel like, oh, I can't be all of these things, because that's not what people want. People want like someone that can, they can walk in the door and say, I need healing with this thing. Can you help me with this thing? And I started to feel that feeling that I felt when I was young, which was the feeling of, I'm too much here. Like, I need to dull my light and distill it and make it palatable for people and acceptable to people. And I did do that. But what happened was, when I did that is that I ended up leaving the practice and just getting very jaded. And so with this, and we had this conversation, this was a big part of, what one of the tenets of creating this House of the Wildling is. We don't want to hide. We want to embrace all of it. We want to be fucking magical. We want to talk to fairies. We're going to talk to fairies. we're going to channel. We're going to channel. We're going to just embrace it, and all of it, and not hide behind that. And, part of the blonde hair, it was like kind of this thing of like, I was trying on this persona to make myself very acceptable in this self-help world that was very love and light. But that's not who I am.
No, I mean, we're both love and light, but we're also bones and
dark and brooding.
Yes. So I remember, and I think that it was really interesting that we both had the COVID happen, but right before that, we both sort of had this, where we were on, that journey we were on, where our life was headed was full force. And then within, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, both of us lost our jobs, and we were like, what the fuck are we gonna do now?
Yeah. And we were like on the phone back and forth. And it was really funny, because you were kind of like, I don't know where I'm going next. And I was like, I don't know where I'm going next. Yep. And we just kept talking. And then like, it was like one day, it was like, hey, and
Want to do this thing?
yeah,
Yep.
it made sense. We're like, let's try this. So I guess maybe why don't you share with everyone what is House of the Wildling to you? Like, what is
So
it?
House of the Wildling to me is fucking magic is what it is. It was a journey that I always wanted to be on. It was doing something that I was always called to do, but too scared to do. Because, like, you, I mean, I tried doing the coaching thing and the this thing and the that thing, but it was always, you know, all the hey girl messages, which I suck at. It was the, you know, doing the little videos, which I don't like to do. And it was all of these things. And ultimately, I just wanted to help people. And I wanted to be able to look at people and go, it is totally okay for you to feel everything that you're feeling and to be everything that you want to be. And there's a place for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that I see you. I see you in all of the myriad forms of you, and they're beautiful and they're all good. And it was what I needed to hear. I think it's what you needed to hear. And I think as we were looking around and realizing there's not a space like what we're creating
Mm-hmm.
that is literally saying all of it is good, all of it is great, and it's magic. And so it's a homecoming. It feels good. It's everything.
Yay.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
what is it for you?
It's the same. It's magic. It's like it's basically creating a space where you're able to explore your magic and not feel judged for it, whatever that looks like for you, and explore your expression. And it is very much geared towards witches because that's what we are. You know, we practice witchcraft and we have our form of witchery, but really it's open to all forms of magic and expressions. And you know, I think that it our world is so magical, and it is a place where we can tune into that through, you know, through the shop and through the courses and through the blogs and through the videos. And those are all like expressions and manifestations of that, but it's also ways for people to connect and to connect with themselves. And so like it's
community.
It's community, and it's really about like being unapologetically yourself, all of yourself, all the pieces, the ugly, the messy, the dark, along with the light and the playful and the whimsical and like all of it. Let's just bring it all under one roof and embrace it and express it and be it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's magic.
So we have Persephone's Hollow coming up.
Yes.
And we're super excited about that. And I mean, I know that I've been talking about what this course is about, but Phred, do you want to share what the inspiration for the course was?
So for me, I am a compulsive course taker. I love to take them. I love to collect them. But the idea was really just taking that time and going inward. Again, for me, because I work with Persephone so much, she's just a very normal guide for me. And the fact that she stepped into her power and she became a queen by choosing to. It was about a choice. She chose to, depending on, and I know you've got a different myth for Persephone that resonates for you versus the one that resonates for me. And I know we're going to talk about that more. But for me, it was about her choosing to begin this journey. It was her choosing to step into that darkness, choosing to acknowledge that that darkness was inside of her. And by embracing it, that's how she became whole. It's how she became powerful. So as I've gone through a lot of these courses in the past, they've always touched more on like a little bit here and a little bit there, but it was always about, yes, you can acknowledge and see that there's that darkness and that shadow in you, but what you have to do is bring it into the light. And I'm like, that doesn't resonate. Like, why do I have to be in the light? Why do I have to take all of this stuff that is me and change it to be palatable to everybody else? So for me, this was about finding a way to take those ideas. I think that shadow work and acknowledging those darkness and the the pain and the trauma that we have is important, but that doesn't mean that you have to ignore it and transmute it into something else. Sometimes it's okay to keep that there. So that was when we started talking about a course that we wanted to do. That was kind of where it was born from. It was born in the idea that you don't have to. Now, if that's what you want to do, if that's what you need to do, is to take that and you are more comfortable being in the light, or, you know, the shadows, or maybe where you're like, nope, I'm really happy and comfortable here in the dark. Awesome. However it works for you, it works for you. But I wanted for us to create something that allowed for all of it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of where it was born in, and where it started when I started writing it and where it is now is definitely, it's so us. It's not like it's just me. It was us. It was, I can read, I'm like, oh, that's a Zoe.
Yeah.
That's a Phred. So I love that we have been able to take the idea that I had and turn it into something that to me is just so beautiful and so powerful. And I don't see anything else out there like it. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited to share it with everybody.
Yeah, I'm very excited too. I feel like it is very deep work, and it is, you know, it is going to ask you to kind of look and uncover stuff that maybe you haven't looked at, but it's not, you know, and when I think about it, it's like, it's not about bringing it into the light to change it. It's more about like uncovering it and becoming aware of it and integrating it. And in fact, those like shadow aspects, and we do talk about this in the course, but those shadow aspects, they will begin to shift on their own in their right time when that thing that needs healing is healed. And to force it, it's like, you know, no, it doesn't work, because it's the white knuckling it thing. Like, sure, I can, like, you know, I could try to be this way, or I could try to change myself or cover it up or force myself, but that's the masculine. Once again, it's like that very patriarchal way of viewing healing. It's like, okay, either you're going to suppress and ignore it, or you have to change it completely, and it's not allowed. And it's like, no, that's bullshit. I call bullshit. Like, we're allowed to be all of it.
Yes. Yeah. You're allowed to, you know, you're allowed to feel it. And again, there are definitely aspects of myself where I'm like, I'm good with that shadow, because that shadow has given me this and I need that. That's an integral part of myself. And then there are other times where I'm like, okay, that needs a little bit of love. So we can kind of work on that. But yeah. Absolutely. I think it's a very feminine approach to it. And I think that it's just, I'm excited for it.
I am too. So. Yay! Well, is there anything else that you want to say to everybody before, you know, we sign off and say goodbye to friends?
No, I'm super excited to be on this journey. I'm excited to get to know everybody. I'm going to try to. I know you're going to pull me into the videos more and more. I'm sure that that'll happen more, even though I'm much happier behind. I would love to know what people are interested in. Like, is there something that they would like to see us doing or talking about? That we can put that out there, that I would love to know what our community is looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I want to say is that, you know, even though you're all more familiar with my face and used to seeing me, I go to Phred for counsel and advice. So, like, definitely a wise sage. She's got a lot of wisdom. And so, you know, as we're moving through the course, you and I, Phred, are going to be present in the course.
Absolutely.
And just know that, like, she is a great source for counsel and for wisdom. So please don't be afraid to, I'm speaking for you. I'm like, go to Phred, she's awesome. But, like, don't be afraid to reach out to her in the Facebook group and, like, talk with her, because she's amazing.
And Zoe's amazing too. So, I mean, like, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for you. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't have made it to where I am if you hadn't kicked my ass along the way.
Yeah, to kick your ass a little bit, but you like it.
A little bit. I like it, so it's all good.
Oh my God, I love you so much.
I love you too, and I'm so excited I get to see you in 44 days.
Oh my God, we're gonna see each other soon.
I know, 10 whole days we get to do stuff, and I'm excited.
I'm so excited. And then I'll probably force you to do another little video while you're here with me, and it'll be great.
And I can have Zeph's like $700 worth of lights to look good and not be on my bed. I'm excited.
I'm very happy that you all have had the chance to meet the lovely Phred, and we're just super excited to have you on this journey with us. Once again, if you have any suggestions for stuff you want us to talk about, topics you want us to cover, please leave a comment. That just helps us know how to better serve you. And
Absolutely.
we are really excited to see you all at the end of the month at the course.
Yes, I'm excited. I can't wait. And it was wonderful meeting everybody. And I can't wait.
All right.
All right.
My love.
Love you.